To enhance your comfort, we are adding new functionality to the setup for every worker. It's similar to running a program. This configuration allows you to set up a delay for every worker. You can select a delay in seconds, for example, 5 seconds, and the worker will wait for that amount of time before proceeding. Click Close, Save, and Copy. Observe that now the worker will wait 5 seconds before running. The next possibility is to set up a wait for other nodes. This means you can configure every worker so that it will not run if one of the specified workers has not finished its work. Now we set up the worker to wait for another worker to finish its task. As you can see, when we click Run, this worker will not start because the other worker has not completed its work. Thanks to this feature, we can set up a worker to run only when another worker has finished its task. In this case, we stipulate that for the summator to run, both workers must finish their work. This ensures that we avoid a situation where one worker finishes and automatically triggers the next worker before all the data is available. Note that the workflow is an asynchronous function, allowing one or more workers to run simultaneously. The next function we can configure is what to do if a worker encounters an error. We can set a retry option a certain number of times. This means that if an error occurs, the worker will attempt to retry the task a specified number of times, with the option to wait a certain amount of time before retrying. We can also choose to skip to the next node if an error occurs, allowing the workflow to continue uninterrupted. Another function allows us to base the workflow on results or variables. We can run a worker multiple times without defining a loop. For example, if we have a list of 3 items, the worker will run 3 times, and any subsequent workers will also run 3 times. This worker functions properly when we configure it to process items or an index. It is essential to define the input variables in the system, usually denoted as vars.item. This is straightforward but crucial to remember. This function allows you to configure what each worker does. When we click Run, the worker will now run 4 times, as you can see. Take a look at this case. When we click Run Worker, like LLM and Slack will run 3 times because the sort filter has 3 records. This means that the function will run for every row in these records.